So I did check my messages, my texts, and Auggie had hit me up. He was like, yo, 6:59, I'm gonna be on in 10 minutes. That's perfect because I was sitting here, I didn't know if something was going on. I've had a problem before where one of my guests wasn't able to see the show. So I'm glad that it was. Yo, I got a show for y'all tonight, man. Catch Up Mac, episode 15. It's a fucking vibe tonight, man. Okay, here we go. We get that potion. Sal, thank you for jumping in, man. Yo, I don't know what happened to y'all's team this past week, and I don't know, I didn't tune in. But I appreciate you tuning in, though. I'll be 5,000 in the building tonight, man. Hey! We vibing to Just Juice right now. Y'all can check him out on Spotify. Y'all know I'm feeling myself. Catch Up Mac, episode 15. I got Auggie 5,000 stepping in second, man. Auggie, get your drink, man. Get your drink, brother. Episode 15. It's a vibe tonight. Also, I got my Michael Scott vibes on. I was showing this earlier when I went live. Really dope tea, man. I can't tell y'all where to get it, but you can get it somewhere. My guest tonight joining in all the ways from Minneapolis, man. Hey! Auggie, I'm gonna bring you up here in a second, man. Let's let people jump back on. They were just on a second ago. I've been telling y'all, I added the lights on, okay? So that way it's just, it's a vibe, man. It's vibrant in here right now. Doesn't matter what time of the day it is now. I'm shining. I'm about to laugh. I'm ready to laugh, man. Let's do it. It's going to be a good show right now. Hey! Yo, it's a vibe tonight, man. Auggie 5,000 about to join me on the show here in a second. We going back to Cal Scrubby real quick. We're going to set the tone, man. I got Auggie 5,000 on the show tonight, all the way from Minneapolis, man. Minnesota in the building tonight.
I'm doing it, trying to swallow my pride without chewing it. And that's a bad idea. Don't do it, that's a bad idea. It's like
Auggie, I'm gonna take it easy on you tonight, man. I'm not asking the hard questions tonight, man. Keeping it real simple tonight, brother. I got you. You don't gotta do nothing. You already worked hard enough. I got you.
If you got a problem, I promise you it'll be way bigger than some Twitter beats.
Let's let the hook drop in.
I've been on that Hennessy and lemonade, knowing my milligrams to 10 a day. That's why I've been away. I get too high, too paranoid. Sometimes thoughts in my mind run lines like suicide drills. I ain't scared to die no more.
Cal Scrubby,
no more.
You know he's next up.
Damn, I got too high. I got way too high. I'm way too high. Damn, I got too high.
Catch Up Mac, episode 15. Auggie 5,000 about to join me, man. I'm gonna send that. Yeah, let's get that request going through, man. Hold up.
I see them all, they red dots. They dropped off like red box. This audition, I'm giving them headshots. But ain't shit free, especially when you this nice.
There we go.
16s is fist fights. My lips bleed.
Real quick, before I bring you on, Auggie, every episode, I said this before, but I gotta plug it again, because it's a new live. Every episode, fueled by Jameson. Jameson, I'm gonna pitch y'all again, man. The holidays are coming up. I need something to fuel me through the holidays. A 375, the minis, DM me, I'll send you the address, whatever, brother. Get the damn sign in the background, man, but Jameson fueling the whole damn episode. Hey! Whoa! Alright, we're bringing Auggie 5,000 in, man. Here we go. Go. Okay. Auggie 5K coming in the building tonight, man.
What up?
Hey! What? What? Did this happen today?
It happened 20 minutes ago, man, or more. It literally just happened. That's why I'm late.
You literally just fucked up. You fucked up one of my questions or one of my topics I had for you because you've always been beard gang. And so you just demolished that topic for me. Let me just repeat that right now.
No, we can still talk about it. We can still talk about it. But bro, this is I mean, not necessarily a long story, but beard started getting real long, and you know, you kind of get frustrated with it sometimes. I don't know if you ever go through that. It gets in the way, you know what I'm saying? And I was like, I'm gonna trim it, and I you know, my original plan was just to kind of like clean it up because I've been traveling. And then I was like, nah, I'm gonna cut it lower. And she was like, cut it down to the nub. And then I was just like, fuck it. And and she's like, no, you went too far. I wanted to do 5 o'clock shadow. And I was just so I was like, I looked at my clock and it was like 6:58, and I was like, oh shit. I was like, this took me way longer than I thought. and then I was like cleaning up and like trying to like, you know what I'm saying? And I was freaking out.
No worries, man. Honestly, I'm gonna talk on that real quick. What you just did to yourself. But I thought that maybe you couldn't see me live, so I ended the live, and I saw your text, so I was like, oh shit, perfect. Let's start it back up. That's crazy, Lori. You should see this right here, man. Auggie, no beard, man. It's just like smoothness, you know. That's so funny, man, because one time when me and Lori were dating early on, I was getting ready for work and I was trying to clean up. And you ever have the time where you're trying to clean up and you keep going a little bit more on this one, so then you try to bring on this one, and all of a sudden it's just right on the chin, and you're like, damn, I look goofy. So I was trying to do that, and it was right before we had work, and I was getting frustrated. And at one point she was like, you look great, just leave it, don't touch it. And I was like, no. I was like, people will notice. I was like, I gotta mess with it. And I was getting real frustrated and just boom, ripped it, and I put like a nub into here coming down. And at that point, I think I was like 23 years old, and my beard is a big deal, Auggie, because after I stopped lifeguarding at SeaWorld my senior year of high school, I never had to shave again for a job. So I literally had had my beard since I was like 18. And at 23, man, that morning I had to go clean shaven to work. And the wifey girlfriend at the time, she was about to leave me because she's like, nah, I told you, like, I love your beard. Like, I told you not to mess with it. So, anytime I'm like in the bathroom or shaving, just kind of, I see a little peeping eyes behind me, kind of making sure that I don't go too far, get a little too frustrated. So I feel on that, man.
That's funny, man. No, yeah. So I don't know. The instant regret once the clipper started hitting the beard, but when you commit, you got to commit. And
you got to. Oh, you fully committed. Oh, you fully.
I mean, once you start cutting into here, you really can't turn back. It's just like, all right, well, it's gone. So.
Hey, man, real quick. Hey, Auggie, thank you so much for joining me tonight, man. Shout out Sal's in the building. Shout out Drama Relove. Shout out ATG83, Jackie Lynn, Static Stang. This is Catchin Up with Mac, episode 15. I got the one and only Auggie 5000 in the building tonight, man. Make some damn love. Hold on, I need it. These horns are supposed to be a little louder for you. Yeah, man, I appreciate you jumping in. You know, I know you're a busy guy. I know you're on the radio this morning. So I appreciate you taking a little time out of your night, man, to jump on the show and talk with me.
All good. Anytime, man. Anytime.
So, so I see the beard thing going on. Jackie Lynn says, what up, what's going on? But I see the beard thing going on. What else is going on during your quarantine life these past 6 months that have been completely different than anyone could have imagined 2020 being?
Well, quarantine's been it's been rough for everybody, and I'm no exception, right? Like, but I feel blessed that, you know, I can continue doing the radio because I know that there's a lot of people that got their jobs canceled on the radio. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it's been tough, man. I mean, you know, we went through and are still going through the same type of changes that any workplace is going through. You know, people working from home, only essential people in the building. You know, we got to take our temperatures every morning before we go in. I think a lot of people are doing. I don't know. I really don't know. We're taking our temperatures and filling out a questionnaire. Do you have a cough? You know, like all that stuff. Have you traveled out of state? You know, have you traveled by air in the past 2 weeks? Like that type of vibe. So we do that little questionnaire, and you know, and the staff got slimmer. So yeah, it's been as tough as anybody, but man, I feel fortunate. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Now, it's definitely been tough. You know, my time being unemployed now from radio, man, I miss it. So it's crazy how you're there and you're on the mic every day, and then it's just like it's just gone the next second. And it's like for people like probably me and you that just love radio so much, yeah, man, it's crazy to see so many radio jobs being affected. I saw that Entercom was just one of the big ones this past week, really big. iHeart kind of kicked it off early 2000 or early 2020. I mean, in January.
Yeah, that was crazy.
I mean, it has been me personally. I had a couple good opportunities. One that was really about to pan out. Finally get to have my own night show, just like you back in the day when you got yours.
Nice.
But unfortunately, just events happened and COVID happened just at the right time for that opportunity to go away. So it's been tough, man. But you know what? Someone like me, I'm really blessed because I've gotten to spend these last 100, and I think today's like day 185 for me and the wifey quarantine down here in San Antonio. So, and I keep preaching this, and I don't want to keep having to pitch it out there. But when I say quarantine, I mean we aren't going to restaurants, the gym, bars. I mean, it's just us here at the crib and then the park to work. So we're doing the same thing, do our thing to try to stop this so we can get back to regular life. But I really like how your station seems like they're definitely taking the most precautions possible to keep everybody safe. That sounds great, man.
Yeah, and for me, man, I've just been when I'm not at work, mostly I've just been staying out the way. I mean, we've gone to a couple of restaurants in the neighborhood that have outdoor seating. But like we're not doing that all the time, bro. Like we feel really nervous still when we do it. And we haven't done it. It's been a while, man. But yeah. the positive, I think, for us, and I think for a lot of other people too, because people, big shout out to Miami Mike on there. I see Miami Mike. What's up, my guy?
Hey, Miami Mike, official Game Boy, Boston Tatted. I know Jackie Lynn's in the building. She was happy to see you. Oh shit, that's Auggie. Pledger's back in the building. Had Pledger on a couple episodes ago.
But no, I'm like I was saying. What was I gonna say? No, we've been staying out the way, just like everybody else. And and it's you know it's tough mentally. It's tough. It's challenging, right? Like I think everybody's feeling the challenge, especially if you're trying to stick to it, because there's a lot of people that just gave up on it. You know.
No. That's definitely down here, man. I feel like people. That's why a lot of people understand. I've had multiple people DM me because I do these Insta stories every once in a while. At the beginning of quarantine, I wanted to document every day of quarantine. So I was like, quarantine day 1, quarantine day 2, quarantine day 3, and I always put like a little quote under it to kind of like express like what that feeling is that day or the vibe. But I do them sporadically now because I don't want to be telling people quarantine 181, 182, 183, 184. I'm like, okay, I don't need to be putting that. But so many people have kind of given up on it that now it's made us lock down even more. I feel like so many people have now just been like, fuck it. That now we're like, shit, like, damn it. Now we can't do anything. Like, you know, so shout out to everyone out there that is being safe, that's wearing a mask, that's trying to slow the curve, trying to get us back to some kind of normal. I know that life isn't going to be the same after this, but yeah, man, I mean, I'm glad that y'all are doing your part to try to end this at some time. Shit.
Yeah, man, you know, I think that, like, you know, you kind of got to follow the scientist's lead on it. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, one interesting thing, man, like, because I don't know shit, right? I can just believe I'm gonna go with the scientists on this. Like, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I saw this that they got a there's in one of the scientific journals, one of the medical journals. This is just an interesting tidbit, just for for anybody watching that wants to learn something new or think about something new. Medical journal was saying that it's a possibility that mask use, widespread mask use is causing people to have lower, less symptoms of COVID and possibly like immunity or inoculation, I should say.
Yeah.
Because what's happening, the way that they explained it, I just read like the synopsis of it. I didn't read the whole thing because it's a lot of jargon that I don't understand. But basically, if you have a mask on and other people do, you still have a chance of getting the virus in the air, a little spit droplet or whatever, and coming into your mask. But the thing is, it's a very tiny bit. And they've talked about this since the beginning about viral load. And if you have a lot of the virus, it's going to mess you up and you're going to be out for the count. But if you have a little bit of the virus, you'll have those are the people that get the mild symptoms, the people that, or sometimes the people that get no symptoms, like Rudy Gobert couldn't smell for probably still, I don't know how long he couldn't smell for, but he couldn't smell. That was all he got. Now, probably because he got a little bit of the virus. Now you keep doing that over time, people get more or less inoculated. And that's the hypothesis that they're working on, which is really interesting. You know, they're not proving it. They don't have the time to prove that is what's happening, but it's an interesting theory. And
yeah.
I think that why not wear a mask? You know, for anybody out there that's like, they're trying to control you, like, nah, bro, like wear a seatbelt too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Wear a helmet when you ride a bike.
Hey, man, let me tell you, that seatbelt conversation is so crazy because me and the wife were just talking about that. I was someone when I was younger, just felt that wearing a seatbelt, I was just like, who cares? Like, I'm in the car. It's only me who's affected, right? And let me tell you about there on a quick seatbelt thing. It was when I met Lori and when I really fell in love with her and felt that love like you feel with your wife. I had to do a defensive driving course. And it was my first one I ever had to do for a ticket I had gotten. And they had that video in there where it showed the people not wearing a seatbelt and how the girl from the front seat or guy from the front seat can fly to the back seat and hit that guy in the head and give him like brain damage. And how the person wearing the seatbelt could die because of the other people in the car not wearing the seatbelt. And when I saw that, man, I changed. And Lori used to tell me all the time, just wear a seatbelt. And I was like, why? Like it doesn't affect anyone but me, until I realized, oh shit, it could affect you. And then I was like, so with the mask thing, you may think, who cares? I could die of COVID. But if you have COVID and you meet someone else, you could potentially ruin someone else's life just because you felt that it could only impact your life. So please just mask up. That I've been preaching it. I've tried to tone down a little bit because I'm trying not to be so preachy on my platform, but it's like, just wear the mask for the 30 minutes or hour in HEB or the grocery store or Best Buy or wherever you got to go. I'm with you on that, man. Hey, once again, Catch Up Mac, episode 15, the one and only Auggie 5000 in the building. Pledge is excited to see you, man. Official Game Boy. Jackie Lynn said, no disrespect. Thought you were a little dicky in the beginning. I don't know if she's talking about you or me.
Definitely
but
you.
Compliment to me. So that's no disrespect at all. I would love to be Dicky and have a TV show and a kind of slightly successful rap music career. So I would love that. Hey, Auggie, man, so you living up there in Minneapolis, right?
Yep.
But you're originally from Phoenix.
Yep.
And then you lived here in San Antonio for like 2 years.
Yeah, 2 years, yep.
How has the cold been? Because Minneapolis is on another level of cold. My family's from up here. So I've been used to some snowstorms, some nor'easters rolling through. Minneapolis got something different, man. How's the cold been for you and the wifey?
You know what, man? It's cold, you know, and I try not to think about it right now because it's not cold yet. but you know what? My first winter here, I was excited because I never really had I've seen snow, but like, you know, I'm pretty new to snow. And when it started snowing, I was just like a little kid, and it was fun. And then the second winter was like, all right, like I know what to expect. Like it is what it is. And the third winter, I was like, man, this kind of sucks. And then did I do 4 winters? I can't remember. I'm on my 4th year now. I think I did 4 winters. I don't know. Either way, by now it's just like, man, like I live for the summer. You know what I'm saying? But adjusting. So here's the thing about adjusting for anybody that's from the desert that's watching this. Phoenix is the hottest large city in the country, right? It's hot. This summer was incredibly hot for them. They spent like, I don't know how many days above 115. It was just stupid hot. So it's extreme. I know how to deal with the extreme heat. So that experience was just like, all right, well, it's just going to be the extreme cold now. So I was able to mentally prepare myself like, all right, it's just another extreme. We can handle this. And so you get you a little parka that covers your butt. That was one of the first things that first bits of advice that my boss gave me. He's like, just get you a heavy coat that covers your butt and some gloves and stuff. And the thing that nobody told me was that I needed to get winter tires for my car.
Yeah.
Because my car it's a rear wheel drive, and it had not all seasons, but summer tires on it. And they were already like kind of worn out. So they were kind of bald. And that first snowstorm, I'm sliding around like Mario Kart, like on the ice level. I'm like, doo, 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 doo. So I got the crash course in learning how to drive in the ice and the snow.
Hey.
And then I figured out like, all right, we need to get some like winter tires so that this thing doesn't slide anymore. And so yeah, now like I can handle the snow and the ice and whatever is thrown my way, I can deal with it. That was like the real life experience of driving in the parking lot and just doing wheelies or whatever like people do.
No, I mean, definitely, man, because I was going to say, you know, I knew it'd be so different for you when obviously we found out, you know, you were leaving the station, you're going to Minneapolis. One of the first things I remember, I was like, man, Auggie ain't going to know the cold, man. He's from Phoenix. He's been living down here in San Antonio. Like, I was like, he's not going to know what it's like when it's 6 feet of snow and it's like -5 out.
Yeah.
But tell me about the year 2017, though, the Super Bowl. My Pats, the Eagles. That what, -17, something like that, which is a terrible memory for me. That's a terrible memory for me.
Well, I don't remember much about the weather, but I will tell you, watching that game was the most fun I've ever had watching a football game in my whole life. We had a blast, bro. Because like every time, like, so I was kicking it with my guy Bonix and DJ Enough. We were all at Bonix's house. And we were all watching the game with my wife and with Bonix's girlfriend at the time, and we were all rooting for the Eagles. And every time the Eagles scored, I played on my Spotify. I played "Fuck Donald Trump." So every time touchdown happened, it was like "Fuck Donald Trump, fuck Donald Trump," because you know.
Let me hit you with the horns on that one. Turn that shit up.
Because your boy Brady, real good friends with Donald Trump. And your boy Robert Kraft, real good friends with Donald Trump. So the Patriots were the Trump team to us. So we were rooting against Trump.
Hey, but hold on a second, man. Hey, you never know when your friends are going to turn into villains. You never know when your friends are going to turn into villains. That's tough. That's like knowing Joker when he was 14, and then he's like blowing up hospitals, man.
Man, we all knew he was terrible. We knew he was terrible. I knew he was terrible my whole life.
Yo, man. I love that, man. Hey, yeah, that was a terrible time. I'm not repping Brady this year, though. Let me tell you, I'm not repping Brady this year, so that's not my boy this year. It's all Cam Newton all day, every day, man.
That was a good pickup for them, by the way. Like, I thought that was a great pickup. I'm like, because I just don't understand. I don't understand why the Panthers would let an MVP go when he's still young. Like, I don't get the logic behind that, and I don't know, but the Patriots just saw it and was like, boom, like we got to get this. We got to get the man. That was, to me, that was the best free agent pickup I've probably seen in, I don't know, forever since.
Yeah, I mean, that's we are blessed, man. This last game, this Sunday's the real test. We're playing Seattle in Seattle. So, I mean, this one's the real test. How do you feel? Because I know you're a football fan, man. How do you feel about the NFL traveling? How we were talking about quarantine real quick. I had pitched a theory, an idea to Spurs Jesus, and it's something I had been sitting on. I pitched it to Pledger too during the show. I had said, why didn't the NFL think about a bubble situation, but as far as a state, where it's a state that has maybe 3 NFL stadiums and then a couple big college stadiums like USC. So my idea was California. Every football player has to commit to staying in California. They're all spread out at different places because they would use a certain college as their training facility, right? They would do exactly the same thing as the bubble. You go to practice, you temp check. I don't know if you saw Hard Knocks, but they were temp checking, tests all the time, right? So you're doing that, right? Then you go back to the hotel, you're on lockdown, just like the bubble, right? Then you only travel in that state. So the players are only traveling to stadiums, no fans, and the players are going from Oakland, San Francisco, or Oakland to San Diego, from USC to San Francisco, and you have enough stadiums because you got what? You've got 7 or 6 or 7 12 o'clock games. You got 3 o'clock games, and then you got 1 night game. It was possible. But how do you feel about the NFL transferring 100+ people with players and staff from like New England to Seattle?
Well, to me, doing it and keeping it in California, to me, is the same as keeping it within the United States, right? Because you got to think about, you might be traveling from USC to, Candlestick Park in San Francisco, or they don't play there anymore, but you know what I mean? Like, you're traveling from USC to, the thing is that you are not in an isolated bubble. And these players, they move freely within the state of California. And so moving within the state of California, to me, is the same as moving within the United States.
Well, I would mean basically being on lockdown, just like the bubble. Once you're in the hotel, this whole hotel, it's like a Hyatt or it's a Marriott or it's a Westin, and the whole hotel is just for that one team. And once you're in the hotel after practice, you get on the charter buses, you're bused to the stadium, you're bused to the hotel.
I think I would imagine that they're treating it like that now. If you're on an away game, you go visit Foxborough, right? Like, you're gonna stay there. You're gonna stay in your hotel. They're probably testing you. Maybe on Tuesday, game week, you're getting tested on Tuesday. Then you probably get tested again on Friday, and then you know what I'm saying. And then you get your results, and then I'm sure that they're doing some form of that on away games. So to me, just keeping it within a state, that to me, I think that there's not enough benefits to make that work. But an actual bubble, now the actual bubble would be difficult to pull off within the course of an entire season.
Yeah, I mean, you just have too many games going on at noon where you would need multiple stadiums to play 5 or 6 games at a 12 o'clock time.
Well, I think what they could have done was to do an actual bowl, because it's, each team plays 17 games a season.
16.
So 16, it's 17 weeks. I think you shorten the weeks, like you by half or whatever the math works out to, right? And then you bubble them, I don't know, wherever, like maybe it's LA, maybe it's Chicago, but you bubble them somewhere. But you, instead of having all your games on Sunday and one on Thursday, and one on Monday, you just have games throughout the week. And you have your schedule person space it out so that you're not playing a Friday game and then you're playing a Sunday game or a Monday game. You know what I'm saying? Like, you play games, and because the NBA bubble was kind of like that. They're playing like 3, 4, 5, 6 games a day.
And they played like at 11 a.m.
Yeah, they were all kind of crazy hours. It was
I didn't even think about that, man.
Yeah, it's like March Madness, bro. They were doing all kinds of wild shit. So you could even go 2 games. You could go 2, 3 games, 4 games a day or whatever, and March Madness it out throughout the week, bro. NFL fans would be eating. You'd be watching a game every damn day, or a war game, and that would be fun. And I don't think that they wanted to do that because they want to at least give their teams a chance to make revenue on game tickets. And that's a whole other story. I know that I don't know every team that's putting fans in stadiums right now, but I know that maybe it's half and half. I don't know, but I know that was a factor. They wanted to give those guys a chance, and we'll see how that pans out. I don't think that was a great idea.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the Chiefs had, I think, 15,000 or 20,000. I know Pledge is watching. I'm sure he can speak on that in the comments. But the thing with the fans was, so I didn't want to be against an NFL season. You know me. I got to watch the Patriots on Sunday when it comes to fall time. And that would be tough to already be dealing with this whole pandemic, dealing with not having a job, and then you're like, no, football? Come on.
Right.
But for me, I think it should have been no fans whatsoever, just like Official Game Boy said, the NBA is doing it correct. 15,000 fans at the stadium. How's that work with concessions? How's that work with getting beer? How's that work? You got to go to the restroom. Are you told to go to the restroom at a certain time? Because if I got to go, I got to go.
Right.
So 16,000, that's what I'm saying, Pledge. 16,000 in the stadium, which maybe holds 70,000, 65, 85, whatever the number is. That's still just a lot of people to me in a place at one time. That's like a Trump rally. Scary. But but yeah, man, I think that the NFL could have worked a little harder on it. But
Yeah.
whatever the case is, we got football.
I think that the NFL, I think what they were doing with their mindset was they were like, you know, they saw COVID happen. They saw, like, officially the start of the lockdowns was the NBA shutting their whole shit down. They saw that happen, and they're like, oh, we got 6 months, and this shit will die down by the time it happens. So they didn't even worry about it. They didn't even think about it. And so probably June or July, and they're like, okay, all right, we got to figure something out. We got to do, and their response was, okay, well, teams, you do what you need to do with your state regulations in mind. Like you do what you can do. And so, you know, that I think that they were like, yeah, it's gonna be fine. Everything's gonna be cool. It's gonna be right. And it wasn't.
Pleasure right here said Cowboys with 20,000 on Sunday. For people that don't live in Texas, our governor just opened everything up to 75% here in Texas. So I would almost think those ticket sales are probably going to jump to about 30, 35,000 if that includes professional sports with it. But hey, moral of the story, just mask up. Pleasure, I know you're masking up. Auggie, I know you're being safe. For everyone else in the y'all make y'all's own decision, but please just mask up. That's all I can say on my platform.
Yeah, man. Just do it. Don't. Basically, you're not gonna lose by wearing an extra piece of clothing. Like, it's just like, you know, maybe it was all for naught. Maybe they figure out that masks didn't work. But I will tell you this: that 100 years ago, they had that Spanish flu pandemic that fucked up a shit ton of people. They were wearing masks back then, and there were people that were like, we're not gonna wear masks. It was literally the same shit. There were people that are like, we're not wearing masks. But there were people that were out there wearing masks, and they ended up getting through it, for better or for worse. I don't know who was right, but I like to think that the scientists in 2020 aren't leading us astray, and the medical professionals aren't leading us astray. I will believe, when it comes to my health, I'm gonna believe a doctor or a scientist that specializes in that field before I believe anybody else. You know, tell
him, Auggie. Tell him.
If my favorite rapper tells me that wearing masks sucks, I don't give a fuck. You know
I love Lori just chiming in right here. Lori's actually working on some baking orders over here. I always like to plug this. Addie Bear Sweets, for some of y'all that are in San Antonio, we got a great baking business, Addie Bear Sweets. We got orders being worked on right now. Post Malone is one of those rappers that went on Joe Rogan and told people not to wear a mask, that he thinks it's a conspiracy. I think that is such a misuse of platform on such a big platform like Joe Rogan, who just signed a $250 million deal with Spotify. But
wait, was that was that like a month ago or so when Post went on Joe Rogan?
it was like maybe like 3.5 weeks ago, I swear. Yeah, maybe a month ago.
Jesus, I was excited, and I listened to that, and I didn't get through all of it, but they got really fucking drunk. And about aliens and shit. Mm-hmm. And I didn't get to that part, so that's disappointing. Fuck, man, dude. Hey, man. Fucking Post, man. Fuck.
That's what I'm saying. And I was a little disappointed, too, because I was like, damn it. Like, you're someone a lot of people looks up to. Come on. Like, just like you said, the worst that could happen, you wore a mask for 8 months. Big deal. You could throw it away. You could burn it afterwards. It wasn't real. No one's going to get sick. Do whatever. But the best thing that could happen is you save your life. I mean, it's kind of like, it's like apples to oranges, you know? It's crazy.
Said that shit? Damn it, man. I want to look that up, man.
You need to look it up. It was a clip I saw. I saw Complex had reposted it, or World Star, because I didn't get through the whole, when they started getting a little wasty, I started falling off just a little bit.
Yeah. Me too. It was just like, you know, my thing about the Joe Rogan podcast is they're all like fucking 2.5 hours, and that's a very long time to hold my attention span. But I get it. Like, there's a lot of like funny shit that happens within that time. But dude, Post, man, I mean, it doesn't surprise me about Post. It doesn't really surprise me, because, you know, the interactions I've had with Post, you know, Post, he told me when last time I talked to Post, he was like, and this was like 3 years ago, but he was just like, yo, he's like, if the shit goes down, he's like, I got land in Montana. He's like, you can come out, da da da. You know, he's like a doomsday prepper, right? Like, dude's a doomsday prepper, and his brother is, And like, and the shit was like, you know, it was cool. I was like, fuck yeah, if it goes down, I'm gonna go up. Like, let's make sure it works out. But so here's the thing is, and this is where the shit is fucked up. The state of the world we're in and the state of the misinformation that we're in. Because doomsday preppers, right? Like by nature, like you got to be into some conspiracy theories, right? Like you got to be into the, you know, you might be a 9/11 truther, you might be whatever it might be, right? Like, by the way,
so it could be is it KVG or KGB or the Soviet Union spies that were planted in America in the 70s to like work regular jobs and then eventually like take over America. You never saw that show, The Americans, on FX?
no, that's crazy.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's like a whole nother conspiracy. That one's crazy. Don't
I gotta look up. But so I'm a guy that likes conspiracy theories, and I think that there's a lot of truth. And I think that I don't like the term conspiracy theory. That's a whole different conversation. But I will say that the whole conspiracy theory culture has always been about like, don't trust the government. Mm-hmm. Don't trust the government. And I understand like the government or part of the government is telling you to wear masks, right? The other part's not. But where people have gone wrong is they start listening to this QAnon shit. And the QAnon shit tells you that the narration of the story, what it boils down to is Donald Trump is a freedom fighter and fighting against pedophiles. And somehow he is going to destroy the pedophiles. You haven't heard this?
I have not heard this.
Okay.
If anything, I've heard that he's involved with the pedophiles.
He's a pedophile in his fucking self.
Yes.
So the QAnon shit started on this website called 8chan. And there's some troll or whoever that started this theory on this as a joke, probably, because they've done a lot of shit that was like a joke for the lulz, right? Mm-hmm. But the QAnon shit, basically, yeah, it says that he's fighting the pedophiles and that so there's a lot of people that are out here shouting against pedophilia and a lot of Trump supporters that are like, get the pedophiles and all this. And like, yes, get the pedophiles. But I'll say this, that any conspiracy theory or anybody that's trying to convince me that a politician, that basically try to get me to side with a politician, I don't believe that shit. Not at all. If you're trying to get, no matter who it is, if you're trying to get me to side with a politician, fuck that shit. That shit is fake. And so what's up?
Just listening.
Oh, Chanel's over. My wife's in the back. She's just like,
yeah.
But no.
Yo, that'll be Lori sometimes, and I'll be like, oh, did I say something? And she'll be like, no, I was just listening. Oh, okay.
So yeah, if you're trying to get me to think that a politician is try to get on the side of a politician, I'm not believing that shit. And so that's where a lot of people are going wrong, because the culture is like, so what that conspiracy theory culture tells you is that the mainstream news, the mainstream media isn't feeding you the correct information. Mm-hmm. You know, the general story of things, the mainstream story isn't the actual truth. Yeah. That's what you're kind of, that's like the crux of it, right? And I fuck with that thought, because I fuck with the thought that there's people with a lot of money that want you to think a certain thing, or mm-hmm. there's people with a lot of money that want you to buy a certain thing, or there's people with money that want you to do a certain thing. So I believe that part, but I don't believe that any politician has my best interests at heart.
Yeah.
So like, if you're trying to get me to think that Donald Trump of all people is fighting the pedophiles, like, get the fuck out of here, dude. So that man grab him by the pussy, my daughter is sexy, asked Donald Trump, like, no, bro, like, no. And so
I didn't know we were going here tonight, but I'm loving every fucking moment of it right now.
so if you're listening and you're into the QAnon, like, just think about that shit, man. Because like, I'm a 9/11 truther. Like, my thought process is that the story that the big story that they're telling us and they're probably teaching in school, it's not the correct story. At bare minimum, somebody fucked up. At bare minimum, somebody fucked up and let some shit happen. At bare minimum.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I know exactly what happened, but there was like some shit was let happen. We'll just put it that way. And you know, like, and there's other shit. There's other shit that's actually been proven. You know, the Operation Paperclip, for instance. Have you heard of that?
I don't think I've heard of that one. No.
So and this shit will blow your mind, because this is like kind of like the start of, well, more or less the start of where we are as a country, because Operation Paperclip was I don't know if it was a CIA thing or whatever, but after World War II, after Hitler offed himself and the war was over, more or less, the United States decided to hire all these Nazi scientists. And these were the ones that were working inside these concentration camps experimenting on people. So the United States brought these Nazi scientists to this country to do, I don't know what. And there's people that know what. And this is like an actual fact. This isn't like...
Yeah, I've heard this.
Yeah.
I've heard that before, that they employed basically their scientists to work on our technology on things they were working on over in Germany.
Right.
Nazi
So you bring some Nazi scientists over, what the fuck you think's gonna happen? You know what I mean? Like, there's ideologies and stuff that get permeated within society. And so, that being said, you know, white supremacy is a thing. Like, white supremacy's been, you know, it hasn't always had that term attached to it, but it's a term that fuels a lot of people's anger and hate towards people that aren't like them.
Yeah.
You know, the Mexicans are rapists chatter, build the wall chatter, the all lives matter chatter.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that still happening. And part of that, I think, not all of it, but part of it is, hey, let's just bring these Nazi scientists over there. They're smart. Let's bring them over. Now, I'm on this whole other shit. Follow me for a second, because I've just been thinking about this shit too. So the Illuminati thing.
Okay.
When I was like a teenager, I was like, yo, the Illuminati, man, like they're trying to control us. They're trying to do all this.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Oh, same here. Oh, same here.
Fucking the dollar bill with the eye on it and the pyramid and shit. Like
The
this
right, and Jay-Z throwing up the rock.
Yeah.
Like, oh, shit.
And the Freemasons and all this shit, right? So I've done a lot of thinking about this. And what's funny is the thing that made this shit click for me is the TV show The Watchmen. Have you watched it on HBO?
No, I have HBO.
Yeah.
I need to get to that.
So watch this show. So it's great, but the crux of this is what I've come to realize is that, like, people with power and people with money, they just want power and money. Like, there's nothing more that they want, right? And so how do you keep your power and your money, or how do you get more? You divide people. How do you do that? Well, you figure out the big difference between people and what will get people to fight. And in the United States of America, and probably in most countries in the world, it's race.
Yeah.
So the Illuminati, real or not, which maybe they are, right? Like, I'm sure that there's a group of like super rich people that are like, okay, we're going to do this, and we're going to do this, and we're going to pay this politician to do this, and we're going to do this.
We were just talking about this, though.
It just makes sense to me that, like, you know, me and my wife, we talk about the bills that we have and what we're going to do and our plans for the future. And it's very low level shit. It's like, okay, so we're going to buy a duplex and we're going to rent out the other half and we're going to da-da-da. Mm-hmm. But when you have billions upon billions upon billions of dollars for generations, it's beyond that. It's like, okay, so we want to make sure that, you know, we can control whatever industry, or we can control whatever. So, they have these discussions, right? And they talk with the most powerful people, the presidents, the leaders of the industry, the this, that, and so forth. The thing that the secret society shit, whatever the fuck they are, the thing that they've been hiding from people in plain sight is white supremacy. It's just, that's just what makes sense to me. It's white supremacy.
Yeah.
And because that is what, because eugenics was a thing in the late 19th century, early 20th century. You familiar with eugenics?
God, it sounds familiar, but I'm not like so familiar with it.
It's cool. Not a lot of people are familiar with this. Eugenics is it's fucked up. It's the study of, or it's the theory that, or the mindset that there are people that are genetically superior to other people, and
that does sound familiar.
Yeah, and that you know, it basically employs Darwinism, and Darwinism says that like the survival of the fittest, and that's how we get evolution to happen.
And Hitler was into that shit.
Right.
Guess
and
what?
so you
Motherfuckers came over here.
so my wife just said Hitler was into that shit. He was.
Oh,
Hitler was into that. And so eugenics was
that's
big in the
what
United
Hitler
States.
believed, like the blue eye, the brown hair. It was like such a stronger, superior race than anything else.
Right. And it may not have been, I mean, it did boil down to that for Hitler. With this other scientists that believed in eugenics, it may not have boiled down to the blue eyes or the blonde hair. It may have boiled down to something else. But it was very big in the United States pre-World War II. Pre-World War I, it was big in the United States. All these scientists were studying it. A lot of respected scientists were like talking about it. The people that have streets and libraries named after them. But so Hitler based his, like, you know, his shit on American eugenics. He kind of learned how to do what he did from the Americans, right? In that sense.
Yeah.
But, so going back to eugenics, yeah, so basically eugenics and white supremacy is like hand in hand, man. Like, because the people that thought eugenics they were white, they thought they were superior to black people and native people and other people. They even had studies on why. They try to figure out why they were better, and they would do tests on people. And this was keep in mind, this was pre-World War II.
Wow.
So yeah. So basically, all that boils down to is that all my life I was worried about the Illuminati, and I was like, damn, man, they got this secret society. They're keeping secrets, like something's going on. And that secret is just white supremacy. To me, I think I may have cracked the code. I don't know if I have.
No, I mean, you might have. And what's crazy is, I mean, it's pretty much not even a secret. It's like hiding in plain sight.
Yeah.
And just so you know, real quick, just to shout out everyone that has jumped in, because we had a bunch of people. Quick Six, Sonia, Christina Bush says hi.
Oh, what up, Christina?
PG Sleepy. My mom jumped in the building.
Hey, Mom.
I think DeWine Roland said, "What the fuck? I never seen that." He's talking about your beard. No facial hair, Auggie. He said down here, I think he said Operation No Facial Hair when you were talking about Operation something else. That's so funny. I like that. My boy Jeff in the building, man. Charlie the Challenger. A lot of people jumping in. I didn't think we were gonna go down this rabbit hole. Oh, real quick, Nick Trey jumped in the building. On blast, that homie Nick Trey.
What up? What up? The broadcast bully.
Karen's 1911, Scott TD Cheetah. I didn't think we were gonna go down that rabbit hole, and I want to let you know that, man, I'm the same, man. I believe in conspiracies. Your 9/11 talk is exactly on point with what I believe. At the least, someone made a really big fucking mistake. At the most, it was an entire plot to turn our country against another country and gain the rights to oil and other resources that we desperately needed so we could keep our supply full and keep our prices from having to gouge like Americans. So I am so right there with you. And I felt so bad because on last week's show, it was 9/11 on the show. And I spoke to my wife about it. And we both feel the same way. And I was like, you know, I feel like that's just so messed up to speak on my platform about how I believe it's a conspiracy when actual Americans did lose their family members for it. And I decided just to do a, you know, rest in peace and remember them and never forgotten. But I feel the exact same way that our government has just pitted all of us in a sense against each other using politics, race, religion, so many other weapons that basically you would have never known were weaponized when you were young, like you said. And now that we're older, you realize that religion is a weapon you can use against someone. A Christian completely believes differently than a Catholic or a Jewish or Muslim, or it's so many different things. Man, I didn't think we were going down there.
Hey,
I'm so
we just
glad
ended
that
up
you
there.
did, because now you're gonna have me searching YouTube the whole night. Now I'm gonna go onto YouTube and go down the damn rabbit hole all night long. The Illuminati's real too. I gotta tell you, if people just really don't think that there's people out there that own 90% of the wealth of the world and have these meetings, I don't know. You won't get through to those people though. You know that. That's why they tell you not to go back and forth on Facebook or on social media, because you'll never get through to someone that truly believes in what they believe. It's just a pissing match at that time. You know what I mean?
And you know what? And to go a little further, a lot of times if you're arguing with somebody on whatever social media site it is, there's a big chance you are arguing with a bot. It's not even a person.
Yep.
Because it's been documented that there's these accounts that are just out here made to comment on certain shit, and there's a shit ton of copy and paste. But even if it isn't copy and paste, there's enough artificial intelligence out there that and I say to not argue with bots, because the more you interact with bots on Twitter, for instance, it's easy to interact with bots on Twitter. You interact with bots on Twitter, you are feeding them information. No matter what you respond to them, you're feeding them information on how to interact. So you are feeding this AI, and like, you know, and
this is
right.
God.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I don't like to argue with anything online, and I don't really like advocate it. But if you can tell that a person is real, and maybe, and what I found is that, like, if you just kind of engage somebody, you engage somebody from a place of love, then even if they don't end up agreeing with you at the end of the day, which you're right, their chances are really low, at least you'll get them to think about something.
Yeah.
I think that that's the key, because also that's a big part of the misinformation campaign, is to get people to doubt things, right? Like, you hear these Donald Trump ads on your favorite TV stations and your favorite radio stations, and in Minneapolis, the one that's playing is like, we're black people for Trump, and it's like Herschel Walker, and he's like, the Herschel Walker and whoever is like, the Democratic Party hasn't done nothing for us, and and like, that's fair enough. Like, you say no more. Democratic Party hasn't done shit for you. Cool. But at the same time, like, Donald Trump ain't doing shit for you.
No, hell no.
And it's just, but the thing is you hear it enough, right? You hear enough of that. You start doubt, like, you really, like, there's, you start doubting.
It kind of creeps in, and you start to really, like, analyze that. Like, does he have a point? Even though you've been so stern on this side of like, fuck that. 4 more years is death to us.
And the thing is you start hearing more and more of it. Even like, you may hear it and you might be like, yeah, fuck that. Like, that's just stupid. But there might be somebody else that, like, they hear it enough and they're like, okay, well, all right, well, you get a couple of people to change their mind, or at least to, like, have some doubt. Then you never know. Like, something might happen.
I mean, Auggie, what's been exposed in, like, the last 2-3 years is people are getting information from a quick Facebook post that people go down in the comments and go, oh, I made up this whole Facebook post, but I made you believe it. That's a big problem, is a lot of people aren't doing their research. They're not actually spending time. And I will tell you, I've been at fault at that. Whether it's been music related, entertainment related, I've done the same thing. Saw a post, reacted quickly, and then realized, oh shit, wasn't even true. Now I look like a fucking idiot. And it's kind of like, but But you have someone like me thinking about that later on, like, man, did I read that right? Or did I know what I was talking about? There's people that would just be posting 1 million times a day and not really caring whether they know the information or not. They saw, they believed at that moment. That's what's out there. And that's what's so scary is those people can now influence, like you were saying, a person like Post Malone, which you do need to go back and listen to that. But someone like him who has so many people that just, people love artists. They love celebrities. They believe everything they do. They believe the life they live. They believe what they represent. So you have someone like Post saying, oh, mask is, I can't remember if he said a conspiracy or if he was just like, I'm not wearing a mask or you shouldn't either. It was something along those lines. And if you have someone that big saying that, you might have 1 million other people out of a 7 million fan base saying, huh, he's got a great point. Neither do I. You know what I mean? It's scary. It's scary.
Right.
Yes, I love Posty too. Everyone's saying I've been there. I'm telling y'all, I have reposted something that I'm like later on had to delete. Thank God for the delete button, because I felt embarrassed that I said that. Auggie, this conversation right here, great so far. I got questions for you, but this is gonna cut off in about like 3 or 4 minutes.
Okay, cool. Then
I
fire
got
away.
Audie real quick.
Okay.
So let's just jump off, and I'm gonna jump on in about like 3 or 4 more minutes, and that way I can finish up. Because man, I gotta highlight your radio career, man. Let me tell you, I love everything else you've been talking about, but you're a huge inspiration to me, man. Being an up and coming radio personality, you know, me and you got to spend the amount of time that we did get together. I tried to really make the most of it because I really respected everything that you had already done. And I could already kind of see the vision that you had for the future for yourself. I could see it panning out. And so I've been kind of like watching along the whole time you've been in Minneapolis, when you were here in SA. And I just want to make sure that like I highlight that, man, because let me tell you, man, I said that in my post about you. I think you're going to be one of these Ebros, one of these J. Cruzes. That's what I see, man. I think you're going to be on that level, whether it's in Minneapolis, whether it's in New York, LA, Miami, Chicago, Boston, any of those top 10 markets. That's really what I see. So I just want to highlight your radio career, who you work with. You've got an all-star cast that you work with. Not everyone gets that, man. And I want to talk about this a little bit, go into depth. So let's jump off. Everyone that's in right now, this is Catchin Up with Mac, episode 15, the one and only Auggie 5000 in the fucking building tonight, man. I love it, man.
Thank you.
Go refresh your drink, give the wifey a kiss, go to the restroom, whatever it is. Jump on in about 3-4 minutes. Sound good?
Sounds good.
All right, let's do it. Everyone, we're coming back. 3-4 minutes. Let me get some music if we can to send us out of this bitch. But yeah, man, about 3-4 minutes. We're going to get back to it. Auggie 5000 in the building. We're going to end y'all with some local San Antonio music right here, man. Catch up back, episode 15. We're coming right back, Auggie. I got you, brother. Auggie 5000 in the building tonight. Catch up back, episode 15. Gotta bring you that San Antonio flavor, Auggie.
There we go. I like this. Who is this?
For a while. All right, man, I'm gonna end it. Minute 25 left. We jump back on.